All right, welcome to another market update. Today is January 27, 2018. As you can see from this chart here, all the major market indexes closed at an all-time closing high last Friday, except the Dow Jones Transportation and the Russell 2000. And seems like the market is continue to push higher. Okay, so right now the trend is still up, although we are seeing a little bit of a weakness on a couple of the internals, but it's nothing there to really signify a reversal is imminent. But right now we just continues to be cautious. Because the market is a bit extended. So let's take a look at the dollar. We've been talking about the dollar for a while, and so let me put up the dollar chart here. So here's the dollar, and we've been talking about this potential head and shoulder pattern, and you can see that it broke down. Right now we're essentially looking for the price to maybe come down to some of these extension here on the Fibonacci major move. We're essentially doing a major move on this swing here, and if it's 100%, that will be way down here at the 78 level here. But right now we're essentially looking for it to come down to tag maybe the 127 or the 141. Although don't be surprised that we're going to get a little bit of a back test and then come down like this. Things doesn't go straight down, but it seems like the market is going straight up, right? So anyway, this is the chart of the dollar index, and you can see that it's just making a lower low, lower high, trending down here on the daily. Okay, so and this basically right here is that right shoulder on the weekly. Okay, so and if we take a look at the British pound, right, with the weak dollar, we talked about the British pound here, and see this thing breaking out. Here's the trend line, and book that trend line, and then we were looking at this inverted head and shoulder pattern, and right now it's just basically moving toward these extension here and the 100% major move on this inverted head and shoulder pattern. Okay, although I got a weekly chart here, and that would be up at this level. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on that 151. That would be a heck of a move, and definitely it's not a time to go to UK with that kind of a dollar and British pound exchange ratio. Okay, and then look at the euro. All right, the euro also have a a nice strong move recently because of the weak dollar. Right, and you can see that again we're essentially looking at this inverted head and shoulder pattern, and right now it's kind of tagging this 127 and actually getting up to that 125 level, and right now pulling back a little bit to that 124.60. Okay, so and then we'll take a look at with the weak dollar. We're going to take a look at the oil, and you can see the oil is also making a nice move, even though we see some of the rig count went up. But again, we're essentially looking at this multi-year basing pattern here, right? And we're saying this like a multi-year double bottom, and so right now this thing is kind of moving up, maybe toward this 100% major move at 75. Okay, or at least get up to the 69.24 area. Right, and that's basically what we're keeping an eye on. Again, yeah, certainly it's not going to go straight up. We could come back and retest this breakout level somewhere around this 59 before I make a continuation move toward the higher level. Then we'll take a look at the gold, and I do have a separate video that I talk about the gold and the gold miner that you might want to take a look. Put that out a couple weeks ago, and it's still valid. A lot of the pattern is still valid, so you might just want to keep an eye on that. And maybe you could identify some potential opportunity for you to play a little bit of a longer term, in a swing trade or on a macro level. Okay, so basically looking at gold, broke this trend line, and right now it's still kind of hovering above that, trying to hold above this trend line here, and we're essentially looking for this thing to break this inverted head and shoulder pattern and then maybe get up to somewhere around 1689 on a 100% major move, but at least get to this 1618 at 1571. Okay, so those are the commodity and the dollars. So let's take a quick look at the let's take a look at the bond here. Here's the 30-year bond, and we're talking about that also a few weeks ago. We're talking about the interest rate and that sort of thing. So you can see on this weekly chart here, it seems to be coming down to tag this trend line. But what is interesting here is this on the daily, right? You see there's this potential head and shoulder pattern, and it seems like it's breaking, and that would bring this thing down to that 127 extension on this major move somewhere around 147, or even get down to this near 146, okay, at the 141. So that might be interesting to keep an eye on if you're into the bond of playing the TLT ETF, right? So, and here's the 10-year, okay, the 10-year, somehow the data supply is kind of slow today, right? On the 10-year, we're essentially looking at this weekly chart here, and it got a little bit of trend line here. Maybe this is a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern that could break and come down to this level here. This is the 100% major move. Okay, so and here's the 618. Okay, so those are the bonds, the dollar, and the commodity. And so let's take a look at the ES, the E-mini here, and we're essentially just kind of quickly going through that, and you can see that on the weekly, I mean, this thing is just continue to march higher. Nothing there to say, and but up. And same thing with the NQ. Okay, right. So is the TF, the Russell, or the RTY. Okay, right. So, and let's finally take a look at the VIX. The VIX is kind of making a little bit of a poking his head above the 11 and the 12 level here. So you can see, and we'll take a look at it on a daily here. Right, you can see that this thing is coming up to these 12 level here, so kind of making a little bit move. So kind of be careful, because the market or some of the players basically setting up some sort of hedge, right? So kind of getting prepared for some kind of a pullback. So be careful. Right, so that's basically it on the market, and be sure to watch the video on the gold miner that after this video. I'm gonna have a link on here, and you can click on that and take a look at that video. Should give you some interesting possibility for you to think about. Alright, have a nice weekend, and if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up to give it a like, so it kind of tell me that this video have been useful to you and you find it informative. And also, if you're not a subscriber on my video channel, click on the subscribe button at the lower bottom right hand corner, and you can also follow me on Twitter. My handle is smtraderCA. Thank you for watching.